Richard Gere, the suave star of classic Hollywood charm, stepping off the red carpet and into the ring of ideas, where tweets sting and headlines roar. Across from him stands Karoline Leavitt, a fierce 27-year-old conservative firebrand who's made a name for herself turning policy briefings into viral sensations. Tonight, they face off not in a studio audience of sycophants, but on the razor's edge of debate. Welcome to Civic Spotlight, where intellect goes head-to-head with instinct. The room buzzes with anticipation. A digital wall behind the stage pulses with neon green and blue, and an audience mixed with tech optimists and eco-critics leans forward in their seats. The host walks out, posture stiff, smile unsure. Good evening, everyone. You're watching Civic Spotlight, where culture, controversy, and conviction converge. With us tonight, Mr. Richard Gere, acclaimed actor and environmental activist, and Miss Karoline Leavitt, conservative communicator with a sharp tongue and a sharper following. Let's get right into it. The lights dim slightly. Spotlights fix on the two podiums. Gere's presence is serene, almost monastic. Leavitt's gaze is unyielding, eyes locked on her opponent. Our opening topic: automation and the future of work. Mr. Gere, your perspective? He begins slowly, his voice like velvet. Artificial intelligence, in its current trajectory, threatens millions of working-class jobs. Truck drivers, retail workers, even creatives. We're not evolving, we're erasing. Applause stirs among the older crowd. This isn't about progress, he continues. It's about profit margins, and people are being left behind. Leavitt doesn't hesitate. With all due respect, Mr. Gere, nostalgia won't bring back lost jobs. AI isn't a monster, it's a multiplier. It makes teachers more effective, farmers more precise, and logistics lightning fast. Some younger viewers cheer. The issue isn't the tech, she adds. It's the refusal to adapt. Americans are learning new skills, not clinging to old fears. The host quickly pivots. Second issue: environmental policy and energy independence. Miss Leavitt, your stance. She lifts the mic. We don't need to bankrupt working families in the name of climate virtue. Let's talk innovation: nuclear, clean hydrogen, carbon capture. Real solutions, not pipe dreams. Gere counters with steel in his voice. What's the price of inaction? Flooded towns? Unbreathable air? These aren't hypotheticals, they're headlines.
Clean coal is a myth.
Solar, wind, these are the future. The future can't be imported. Leavitt fires back. America needs self-reliance, not dependency on Chinese minerals. And yet, Gere says, voice rising, you ignore the global science community, all for short-term energy politics. We follow results, Leavitt says flatly, not slogans. The room bristles. The host interjects before the tension spills over. Final round: social media and free speech. Miss Leavitt. She speaks with cool precision. Social platforms have replaced the newsroom, but big tech censors like they're kings. Algorithms are gatekeepers, and they tilt the scale. Gere nods but challenges her. Free speech isn't license for misinformation. We've traded fact-checking for follow counts. Leavitt smiles coldly. And Hollywood traded truth for applause years ago. The people speak through TikTok now, not studio press junkets. The crowd shifts.
Some stand.
Gere sits back, adjusting his collar. Leavitt steps into the center. This isn't a monologue, she says. It's a movement. You lived through scripts. We're writing our own. The moderator raises a hand, but the show has left his control. The hashtags ignite. Phones flash. The audience knows it just witnessed a seismic shift. Gere looks across the stage, perhaps for the first time uncertain. Leavitt doesn't bask in the applause. She commands it. The game has changed. And tonight, on Civic Spotlight, the torch wasn't passed. It was seized. The aftermath is immediate. Social media explodes with clips and commentary. Hashtag Leavitt strikes trends globally. Memes show Richard Gere photoshopped behind an old typewriter, captioned, still writing monologues while Karoline codes policy. Backstage, reporters swarm the green room, hoping to catch Leavitt's reaction. She calmly adjusts her sleeve and says with a shrug, "I didn't come to entertain. I came to inform." Gere, meanwhile, stands alone, framed by a mirror filled with soft bulbs. His reflection looks thoughtful, distant. An aide asks if he wants to respond to Leavitt's remarks.
He sighs.
"She's fighting in an arena I barely recognize." Later that evening, news outlets light up. Fox News hails Leavitt's performance as a generational pivot. MSNBC concedes she dominated with digital fluency. CNN runs a segment titled, "The End of Celebrity Politics?" Leavitt appears on a post-show livestream, taking direct questions from viewers. One asks, "What would you say to Richard Gere right now?" She leans in and says, "I respect his legacy. But in this era, passion without precision is just noise." Meanwhile, Gere is interviewed on a podcast hosted by a fellow activist. "Did you underestimate her?" the host asks. Gere pauses. "I underestimated the times. And the fact that the conversation has changed. My playbook was empathy and poetry. Hers is data and disruption." The next morning, editorials roll in. One New York Times op-ed praises Leavitt for her clarity. "You may disagree with her views, but you can't ignore her voice." At a small university in Texas, a political science professor streams the debate in class. Students argue, debate, analyze. One remarks, "She used TikTok better than he used television." Another says, "He was trying to be a mentor." She came in as a movement. By week's end, Leavitt's speech has racked up over 8 million views. She's invited to speak at a major youth conference. Gere announces a documentary project exploring how media shapes public trust. But something fundamental has shifted. Civic Spotlight becomes a cultural reference point. The moment when a young conservative communicator didn't just challenge a Hollywood legend, she redefined what it meant to lead in the information age. And as new debates loom and new faces rise, one thing is clear. The stage is changed. And Karoline Leavitt now owns it.